there.
I'm gonna grab the tea one from the back.
All right, it's so awesome to see some new faces here tonight, people that we haven't seen in a while. It's so great. Some of you traveled a really long distance, and I do know there are more people coming. So they'll just probably quietly enter and find a chair, and we'll make room for them. So thanks again. This is the last evening for MOVO Mondays for the spring. I guess we're now into the summer. But we do look forward to, getting your feedback throughout the summer to see what you want to see for the fall. Even for those of you watching from home, we really want to add value and help people where they're at. So I know everyone comes from a different skill set, a different background, a different desire for growth. So, that's the point, is trying to really help everyone where they're at. So if we're not doing that well, please let us know. We're always open to changing and improving things. And some of the things we talked about at the beginning of our MOVO Mondays did not get accomplished. So it's always that course correction of really looking at what we did do, what we didn't do, and what we'd like to change to make better for next time. So please definitely give us all feedback. I know Tina has been here every single night, which has been so helpful to me. And there's been a lot of people step out, and Alicia hasn't even been in this business for, I don't even think it's been 4 months. No, and she did a meeting for us with our colors. So everybody is a leader, which is so exciting. No matter where you're at in this business, whether you just started and you have something to offer, I'd be more than happy to hear what you'd like to share at a future MOVO. So thank you for everyone's support and for helping us make this work. So tonight I really wanted to take a look at where everyone's at tonight. We do have some ideas of what we could share with you that could really set you up for a great summer ahead. But I also want to be really open to finding out where you're at. Is there anyone here? I know we have a very brand new Crystal executive in the house. Woo! Jason Snyder and Sarah. So I know that many of you are going for that. Is there anyone here right now that is setting that goal for July 15th to hit Crystal Executive or get back to Executive? Back to Executive, all right, fantastic. Anyone else? I certainly just asked that question lightly because not everyone has that goal, and it's okay. It took me 3 years to get to Executive, 3 years. I missed all the bonuses. It wasn't even a matter of.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, you know what? I wanted to share that.
Yeah. That feels good.
Yes, because I think that when we put that pressure on ourselves, for some of us it really works. For others, it actually makes us feel like we're not worthy of it or it's not working. So I really want to honor everyone where you're at. Don't put that pressure on yourself if it's not helping you. If it's actually pushing you further back, then kaiba, get rid of it. Don't even think about it right now. Things always happen. Things will change, but you have to be ready for it too, right? We don't want to act weird with people just to get to that means of Crystal Executive bonus, right? So so I just want to honor you where you are. So tonight, is there anyone that came with an idea of what you really want to take away from tonight? Because we can totally change where we're thinking of going tonight. So this is totally a night for you guys. Or are you just wanting to stay open to whatever comes?
I'm a sponge.
You're a sponge. Just give me whatever, eh?
I concur.
Okay.
Can I share one thing?
Yes, please.
Something on my heart to share right now
And if,
with what you're saying about.
can I turn this? Is that okay? I don't know if people really can see you, but.
Yeah. So what I want to share is just that even though Tara has, given us permission to be in the place that we're in as far as executive and Crystal, like the region and Crystal Executive goes, here's what I want you to know is that I was in that place as well where I tend to give myself permission a lot to the point that I let it allow me to procrastinate. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to an ICU and I was 6 months, building my business. I was what's called a star consultant. I had 5 consultants, okay? After I left that ICU, I thought there's no reason why I can't achieve, executive and, get these other people that I've helped get started going. And so I just made it my mission. I thought, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to get on it. And I would like to achieve that goal and help other people, move forward. Within 2.5 weeks, I believe it was, I got to executive. So we're at that mark right now with the deadline. Because we're basically, it's the 15th, right? Got, 2 weeks, 2 and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where you are, anything is possible. So don't discount yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just go for it. And if you don't make it, you're still going to grow your business and help more people anyway, right? So just put that in your minds. And then if that's what your intention is, state that intention now, or affirmations like we learned when we were away. You guys, I've talked to you guys about affirmations before. Do you have an affirmation about Crystal Executive? I'm so happy and grateful I'm a Crystal Executive. I'm so happy and grateful I'm a Crystal Executive. It's like Jamie shared with us one time in a training. She was saying it in the car. I think it was Anna Early who started saying it in the car. And by the time she got to work, she was like, I'm so grateful I'm a Crystal Executive. That's just part of you just believe it's going to happen eventually. It may not be on that date. It may be later, but it'd be a pretty cool thing, to know what could be accomplished just because you set that intention and put that out there. So allow yourself permission. We're human, we aren't, but don't disbelieve in what you're capable of, because you can do really cool things.
Thank you for bringing that forward, because it really is a fine line between giving ourselves permission and procrastination.
Exactly.
And not letting it become the excuse or the reason why we're not moving forward, right?
Exactly.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, so is there anyone else that wants to share anything, whether it's sharing something that you've recently learned that you want to step up into your leadership and help us learn, or that you just want to take away from tonight? Hi, everybody, come on in. Find a seat and just move right in. That's okay. Everybody, you guys drive from so far. I'm just so grateful you just started. So great to have you here. Yeah, honestly, wherever you can find a space, we can always move things to. Make yourself right at home. Lots of chairs in here. Don't be shy. Just come right in. And there is water and some replenish there. Now, is there anyone coming in that has never tried Isogenics before that's looking for information on Isogenics tonight? Okay, so this is all business right now. All right, perfect. We just want to make sure nobody's out of place. All right. So with that, any other shares or things that you want to take away from tonight? All right.
I have a really cool share.
Thank you. Okay, can I turn this for everyone to see you? Are you comfortable with that?
Sure.
Why not? It's all about showing up.
Yeah. All about showing up. I was
right.
late, so I apologize.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I was late, but I was pumping gas. And I look around the corner and I see my former dentist. He has been on sick leave. And I've just had a half-an-hour conversation with him, and he wants information.
Nice.
He has spent the last 5 to 7 years traveling the world to find cures and to find things that will help him medically.
Wow.
So that's why I was late. So I was not
excited about
it.
You've had such a growth here.
I have. I am just so thankful and grateful for you, for Tina, for Michelle Staton. I'm just overwhelmed with everything and so appreciative of everything that you guys do and the support that is there. I just every day I talk to somebody and it's like, I did this.
So great.
Yeah, and I know how to exactly receiving it.
Yeah.
And being open to receiving information and using it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's
Knowledge
just,
yourself.
it's coming, and like you, I've been on a very long journey since 2011, and it's just starting to come together. And I will get there. I have no doubt in my mind that I will get there.
That's so great.
So getting there.
Thank you for sharing that.
My shirt, yes, my friend Shannon gave me this. It says, breathe in the future, breathe out the past.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Now, do you mind sharing, because not everyone knows your story, not that you have to share your story, but do you mind sharing something that has had a really massive impact? I know you thanked people, but it all ultimately comes from within. So is there something that has happened for you, or an event or some moment that changed the course of where you're headed?
New Year's kickoff in Palm Springs. I was in a room with 5,000 people, lost the people that I had come with. My sponsor was there, and I couldn't find her and the group of people that I was to meet. I suffer from anxiety. I had a panic attack in 5,000 people. in the middle of 5,000 people. And I didn't know where to go. I started to do the self-negative talk of, I shouldn't be here, I'm stupid, I made the wrong mistake, I made the wrong decision, I should just get on a plane and come home. And I typed into my phone to Michelle that I was panicking. All I did was write panic. And within 30 seconds, Alistair was behind me, hugging me. I was from here to Tenia, away from them, and I couldn't see them. And she mixed me up in Ionics, and within 15, 20 minutes, everything settled. I could breathe, I could focus, and I just thought, okay, I'm in the right spot. I wasn't rescued. I don't want to say that I was rescued, but I knew my family was there. And I knew that those people were there to support me. And I think that was it.
That's amazing. It's that confirmation that you are not alone.
Yes.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And that was a very on the spot. Wow.
Can I do a quick share?
Yes, please do.
So some of you know I spent the last week in Asia, and I lived in Hong Kong for 7.5 years and still have many good friends there. But this time I went back to Hong Kong and made it part of my trip to go and visit our Isogenics office in Hong Kong.
Yeah, very good.
So it's so cool. So I took one of my closest friends with me, and we were just doing other things. And they said, hey, would you mind just stopping in with me? And, you know, I want to go and introduce myself. And I connected with the office manager there.
Who is it?
Barry Lamb is his name. He's amazing.
He's great.
And yeah, showed up and just was so welcome. Like I walked in this office and it's gorgeous. They've got like a tasting bar set up because a lot of their business in Asia is retail business. So people can walk into Ionics, like Isogenics was blown away by the whole experience of going, and we walked in, we did e-shots at the bar, and I made this amazing, really am excited about growing my business in Hong Kong because I saw the support that's available, and he sent me an email saying if there's anything I can do to help, just please reach out. So it was really cool, and I just had said to Jamie this morning on a walk with her that it just really reaffirmed for me that I'm with the right people in the right place at the right time. So it was very cool.
That's so great.
So yeah, it was pretty neat. Yeah, it's my first international office that I've had a chance to visit, so it's really good.
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
because a lot of us haven't had that opportunity.
Yeah, it
so
was
it's nice to
amazing.
hear that. That's
Yeah,
great.
amazing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Is there anyone else? Hello, I'm seeing some new faces back there. You guys can move forward if you want to. Is there anyone else that has any kind of shares or things that you really want to take away from tonight? Because I know some of you came along. It's a night where you walk away saying, oh, I didn't get enough. So is there anything that anyone wants to share? All right, yeah, come on up so we can see your beautiful faces. And there is some water with some replenish. All right, so let's get started on some really cool stuff that I think will really help you guys through the summer, because clearly when we continue to stay plugged in, it really helps keep those positive belief in action things going, right? But sometimes when we step away from it, we tend to easily procrastinate or unplug so much that we don't take action, right? Or even just being surrounded by this amazing supportive team like Michelle talked about tonight when she had her family there, when she had that moment. Sometimes when we don't have that, we feel like we are back into a place of being alone. And I'll just share a really quick story about this past weekend. I went to my cousin's place in beautiful Michigan. We're right on, they are right on Lake Fenton, and beautiful lake. It was really, really nice time. And every year they have a cousin's party, which I absolutely love going to. This was only our second time getting there. So I wanted to make sure that when I went there, I had my cousin hat on, not my business hat. Does anyone relate to that?
Yeah.
Where you're in a family situation and you have because you're so passionate about the business and you want everyone to take the products and get with the vision. And it's hard to turn that voice off, right? But I really wanted to just be the little cousin because I was actually the youngest cousin there this weekend. We range from ages of 25 up to 70, but the 25 and the 28-year-old were not there. So luckily for me, I was the youngest one, and I just felt so inspired to be with them as a cousin. But unfortunately, things happen, right? People know what I do. Not everyone agrees with what I do. A lot of people know my story and know my struggle as a teacher in the past, but still somehow, some way, you know, the negative can still happen. And this is almost 6 years later, right? So my family is my family. I love them dearly and I don't judge what they think of me, but I also know that it can be hard. It can be very hard. And sitting at the table with one of my cousins who I really adore, I love her, and I know she would have great results on her products, but she's just not open, and I'm not going there anymore. It's just not something I'm ready to convince her on because we're not in the convincing business. But she has her own way, and I certainly don't think that it's negative because she's getting great results on what she's doing. But is there anyone in your life right now that you feel is trying so desperately hard to tell you that what you're doing is wrong? All right. So pretty much every single one of us can relate to that. What is your first thought that happens? How many of you instantly get red in the face, feel like choked up, feel defensive, and you want to just like attack or say something that you know about our products just to get them to realize that they're a little bit cuckoo, right? Because we know. But for almost 6 years, I've been in that defensive place with anybody that comes into my life that says something negative. And I'll tell you exactly what she said to me. I still shake my head because I think, really, how did this even happen? But sitting at the table, I did not get defensive once. And I think it's part of the growth that I've been going through, all the events, all the people I'm surrounded with, just understanding that we're not here to convince people of anything. And she said to me, out of the blue, we weren't even talking Isagenix, we weren't talking really anything food related, but she says, you know, on the way up here, I was reading the package of her sister's package because her sister is on Isagenix and loves it, but doesn't talk about it either. And she said, I was reading the package of the bars, and I'll tell you right now, your stuff is shit.
Wow.
And I honestly just sat there, and I didn't feel the heart going. I didn't feel the face flushing. I didn't feel the feeling of like wanting to reach out and strangle her. I didn't even feel like laughing. I just sat there across the table and I listened. I listened. And I smiled. And it wasn't in a rude way. I wasn't being like all weird and like, you know what I mean? I wasn't smiling in a way that I was disgusted or anything like that. I just listened. And her husband was sitting right beside her, and he's, you know, obviously doing the same thing that she is. And I'm grateful to them because I think they've really turned their health around, and it's awesome. But he instantly started realizing that, wow, that was harsh. And we need to backpedal here a little bit because I wasn't getting defensive. And I don't know if it was a fight they were looking for or some kind of like back and forth dialogue. I don't know. But as I listened and her side of it came out, I'm thinking of all the things I would love to say, including, you know, I trust the scientists. That's one thing I do. But I didn't say anything. It wasn't hard to keep that in either. Like I felt like I had come to a new place in my life of not needing to be the person to prove it to someone.
Awesome.
How many of you feel like you are either getting so defensive and burned up inside that you just want to like walk away? And I didn't even walk away. I could have easily done that. Like, if you call my stuff shit, I guess I'm not having this conversation with you. Like, that's how I was before. So I just tell you that story as a way to go through your summer without feeling like you have to be the one to prove something, the one to be the one with the final word. And could I have sent her some great information when I got home? Absolutely. I could have said, you know, I thought about your conversation or your sentence. Here's a great link to the products and why these certain things that she was concerned about are in our products. But I didn't even want to waste the time, right? She is worth it to me, but that conversation is not worth it. So I just hope that every single one of you today is going to go with a totally different mindset to say, I have nothing to prove to people and I don't need to get defensive. I know in my heart what I'm doing is right, and nobody, not even someone I love, can knock that for me. So just be so strong with your conviction and know. And if you don't, if you feel like you have a wavering belief right now, then let's fix that. Because once you get to 100% belief, nothing anyone says or does, or no way that anyone treats you will ever knock you down. And I can look here at most of your faces and know your story and how you've gotten to where you're at now. And I know you've come with hard times. You've come with like losing friends. I know that it's happened. And I have become that mama bear. And I'm looking right at someone right now. I won't, anyway, that's terrible. But you know, you get defensive because you care about people so much and you don't want anyone to be hurt. So anyway, guys, I had to share that with you.
That story brings so much value because I will repeat that story, because the one thing I share on a regular basis when anyone has anything to say negative, because I always get like ISO witnesses, all this stuff, and I at the end of the day, the people that I have met and that I have come in contact with, and I tell them this all the time, if at the end of the day I found something tragically horrible with Isagenix and you were able to prove me wrong, I have done nothing but improve self, be surrounded by wonderful people, and build who I am every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get, and those stories are the ones I love to be able to share even more than weight loss stories and you know that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And so many things could have been different. My husband said, well, if I was sitting there, I wouldn't have been. Or if, and there's two or three other family members that use the products, and one's even building the business. And if they were sitting there, it probably would have been a different dynamic. And maybe they said it to me alone, knowing that I was the one who kind of brought this into the family. Maybe they were looking for that weakness. I have no idea. I really don't know why people say things that they do, but we can't hold on to that as a grudge. Like, and I'm not upset with her if she watches this. It's a learning process for all of us. I don't feel negative towards her.
Well, I think, Tara, you made a great point when you said, when your belief level is at, you're at a 10 out of 10 on everything. Because when you're at a place where you love yourself, you're good with yourself, you're happy with what you're doing, you really don't care what anybody else thinks or says about it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what anyone else is going to say or do. So before, you've done a lot of work to get to the place that you're at, as I haven't, many of us have all done different things like Marcy's saying. What she was doing was not about that. It was not about Isagenix. It was not about the product.
That's true.
She's proving herself because there's a void within herself. And I'm not being a psychologist here, but I'm just saying I've done enough of this life coaching to know there is a void.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something that she's wanting to prove. And it's about her. It's not about you. So we can get to that place of just loving and loving and sending light to them where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
and hoping that they'll find their way to be not threatened by anything or not feel that they have to do any of the 3 J's in any way.
Right.
Then, and that it's a really cool place to be able to be that way, because what chances are 2-3 years from now she may come around because she'll realize Tara's so happy. She's always so balanced. She's always so, I want a piece of that. She might not, and it doesn't matter. But as long as we just send people love and light where they're at, and just, because, we've all been in situations where we think, oh, I shouldn't have said it like that, or oh, I should have done something different. It doesn't feel good in our gut.
No.
If it doesn't feel good in your gut, it's not the way to go,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm
Absolutely.
proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. It was a huge growth moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I'm really interested in what the husband said to backpedal.
well, you know what? She represents. Yeah. You know what? I'll share that with you. They represent another company, and they're also doing strict paleo, which I understand that paleo.
Yes.
There are some Isagenix members that do paleo very successfully, but they've done a lot of research on food and they know everything there is to know about food. So, but the company that they represent also has shakes and some other products not similar to ours, because I don't think it's even comparable. But he backpedaled and said it's not, or our products are also having these ingredients in them. Mm-hmm. They're not, it doesn't make them good products. But, and I could have gone into so many detailed descriptions of, their products, but it just wasn't worth that space in myself.
You even let that go.
Yeah. So,
You know, that kind of brings my day full circle, because today's post for me and my blog today was, do I have any what ifs, or I have a wells?
Oh, I love your.
And to me, something sparked, somebody had said something to me, and I know the circle of friends that they were with in recent days that we were there visiting. So I know there was chatter going on, oh, Alicia's doing something else, let's see about this. And that's mommy talk in my brain, because I know from experience that's what's happening. Is it bothering me? No. But then a friend of mine had posted that image, and I said, okay, I'm gonna steal that image, because it was perfect for me at the time. And it says, I have said what I've needed to say, I've done what I've needed to try, and I'm in my life where I need to be. I don't have a, what if I had tried this? What if I had tried that? And like, you don't have to say, what if I had shared that? At one point you have shared it with her. So now you have a, oh well, she didn't listen. Oh well, my vending didn't work out. Oh well, didn't do that. But guess what? I'm where I need to be now, and this is where I was meant to be all along.
That's right.
So it's kind of,
That's awesome.
this whole week, everything that starts is coming back full circle to me. It keeps happening.
too.
It did. Over and over and over
That's so
again.
cool. That's great. Well, thank you. So with that, guys, is there anyone else that maybe my story sparked something that you want to share? Because I think that it's really great to be able to share stuff like this that's real. Like, this is what makes us real in this business. We're not alone. Is there anyone that?
What it did is it put me in a place, because I have a family reunion this weekend, and there are people there that are huge, as you said, naysayers, whatever, you know, oh, that's terrible what you're doing. And it just put me in a place that, you know what, I'm just gonna let them do whatever they do.
Yeah, and she's almost in the 100-pound club, and I'm just like,
Wow.
argue with you? Really?
I know.
So,
It doesn't matter what we do, though. No matter what we do.
It's not about me,
Yeah.
it's about them, and you're
That's
absolutely
why I'm
right,
so
and I know
happy.
that, and I know that just from past experience, but lots of times I still would get my back up and start to prove my point and everything, but, you know, I have the mindset to be able to go forward this weekend and just have my shake in front of everybody and
Good
go,
for
whatever
you.
your declares or whatever you're eating,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Because I have the willpower and the why power, because Marcy was nice enough to give me that CD from
David Wood?
Darren.
The one you
Derek Hardy.
Oh,
yeah.
Darren Hardy.
Darren Hardy.
And it's all about, and I mean, the why power is about the business, but it's also about you.
Yes.
So I told Marcy that in a text tonight. You go ahead and eat in front of me. I don't care. I'm on a way day. I'm trying this way day thing, and I'm fine because I have the willpower and the why power. So
She
That's
does,
great.
she's
you're gonna
unbelievable.
do it.
That's amazing. And that's all that counts, right? We know that we are living with ourselves. We don't have to.
It's about me, and that's fine. You guys do what you want.
That's great. Good for you. That's great. And yeah, I think that story is actually really good for everyone this summer, because this is the time we see most of the friends and family, right? So anyway, guys, with that, I think that, does anyone want to hear one really cool thing that we learned in Vegas?
Yeah.
That could really set you up for just one. We might do a few, but I have one other thing. So for those of you, I certainly want to keep the time in mind, because some of you do need to get home. But we do have one other thing at the end of the night that I'd love to share with you guys, just in case you haven't seen it, because I think it could be one of the best tools you could use all summer. So all these things that we're going to incorporate, and then that at the end, even if you don't get a chance to watch it all with us at the end, then you'll get a chance to see where you can get it. So with that, we had Lisa Nichols, who many of you have heard about. Some of you have never heard about her. I hadn't actually heard about her. She's in The Secret. She has been on Oprah. She owns, or she's the CEO for, oh, do you remember the name of her company? Manifesting
the masses.
the masses. Motivating the masses.
The masses.
Brilliant, brilliant trainer. She was basically there every day of the 5 days doing some directed training as well as on-the-spot training with people, which was fabulous. So what I did was I actually recorded a few things that I was able to play through the speaker. It's not going to be the most amazing quality, but I actually thought it was garbage on my phone, but with the speaker, it actually brings it up. So I wanted to share that with you. But there's two things that she really talks about. And one of them you may have seen kind of happening, and even tonight I just did it, in a way. She has a theory called the DIP theory. And what that basically is that you always want to have an end result in mind. What message do you want to give your listener, right? What's the message that you're wanting to leave them with? But it's a take action kind of message. Okay, so when I say what this is, you'll get the process of what I just shared with you.
Can I ask you
About
a
the
quick question?
summer, yes.
How many of you guys were at the business training on Thursday night when I was hosting? Okay, so I did yeah,
Sorry.
I did
Yes,
about
Tanya
3
did.
dips through my intro. So
Yes,
Tara
so
will
it's-
share with you.
It's a great way to, and you'll recognize it within mine, and then some of the videos that I've done lately, you'll see some of those dips happening as well. So the end result with action, right? So you're almost starting from the end first, the end in mind. Then you're starting with where you are today. So where I am today, I'm actually in a much better place as growth in that story, right? So love my cousins, you know, I did that whole thing of I absolutely loved going to that place because it's a place I love to be with my family. Took the business hat off, right? Then you've got your dip. Something happened. So when that dip happens, it could be in any part of your life. Every single one of us has dips in every area of our life. We've got dips in our relationships. We've got dips in our health most times. We've got dips in our career. We've got dips everywhere, right? You can think of that. So when you get to that dip place, it's not a time for you to vent it all out and go to that place of I need help. You know, you don't want to make it a, oh, woe is me kind of thing, right? You want to make it dip. It could be emotional. There could be emotion that comes with that dip. And I know when I was listening to Tina's dips the other day, I got emotional in the audience because I connected with her dips. Many of them I connected with. And what happens is it's in the dip of your story, wherever that part of your story is, that actually connects on a heart level with everybody that's listening. Because everyone can relate to the dip, even if it's not exactly the same dip that they went through. People can relate there more than they can relate to where you are now. Because not many people have gone through the growth that they need to get through to get to the place they're really happy, right? We are really the 5% of the population that is doing that because we are actively reading the books, going to the events, and doing all those things, but not many people are. And when we're talking about meeting someone where they're at, the prospects that you want to bring into your business or into your products, many of them have those dips. They're still there. They're still in that dip. So to be vulnerable and transparent is hard. Would you agree?
Yes.
Many of us have a really tough time with doing that, but that's what people are connecting with. So it's a really big thing to go through. And even over the summer, start practicing it as hard as it is, you know, and that's something that if we had more time tonight, I'd like to practice it. But I really hope that you guys will start sharing it on Facebook. That's a practice. And, you know, at the event, I know that there was somebody that was at our table for dinner one night, and she said, but I'm not a Facebook person, and I can't do that, and I'm not willing, oh, well, that's not me, right? And I said, it wasn't me either. It wasn't me either. But I was willing to do something different to get a different result. That's all it was. I made a decision that I wasn't being fake about it. I was actually learning Facebook and going through the motions of this sucks, this hurts right now, this is getting me, but I'm going to do it anyway because not only is it helping me grow, it's helping someone else that's watching that video, even if it's only one person that watches that video. It could change their course of their life. And it might not be Isagenix. It just might be something that they do differently today because they heard my story, or they heard your story, Matt, or they heard Jason's story, or they heard Alicia's story. These are all stories that are important. Your story is important, and you've got multiple stories in your life. So when you get into that dip moment, you're not going to stay there long. And you're not going to have, so basically what she says is the progression of your dip story. Now, all the dip stories that were being shown in Vegas were 12 minutes long. So they got started where they are today, you know, happy-go-lucky, everything's going well, but it's specific to their dip story, right? You want it to flow as well. Then you cover one dip if you can. One dip is enough because people don't want to be dipping in all these different things at once, right? That's just overwhelming, and sometimes it can sound like a therapy session. So dip once, fairly early in the conversation or in the presentation. Then you're going to get yourself out of that dip. But don't get out too fast that you kind of get people down and then you're back up. Because people need to feel that. That's where the connection happens. That's where the heart is connected. So being in that dip for a short bit of time and how you felt during that time. And I haven't done a great job of doing that when I do my videos. But descriptive words. It took me to my knees. That phone call that I got absolutely made me just felt paralyzed. I couldn't speak, I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, right? And I'm thinking of the day I got a call that my dad had a heart attack. It was gut-wrenching. I wanted to get there, and it was a 2-hour drive. Please don't let him die, right? That's the piece that connects people to the heart, right? And it doesn't have to be fake, because the emotion happens when you let it happen. Anyway, I wasn't expecting that to come out.
Surprise.
His health has turned around, and he's amazing now. You know, he's taking care of himself. That was before Isogenics. Anyway, so that's where you're going to catch people in that place. But then when you come back out of it, make sure that you're coming out of it so that you can help people make a plan to change something in their own life. All right, so if it is a health dip or a career dip or a choices dip or a spouse dip, anything that is your dip, then bring people that, actually she talks about me, we, and you. So the way that you're gonna make your dip is actually the me. So this is how my life was, this is how I felt, this is what I went through. We collectively, as a unit, know that we have choices for health or whatever the dip is, right? We all collectively know that we can make a difference in the life of another person. We collectively, whatever that might be. And then you go into the you. Because at the very end, you really want to connect heart to heart with that person. And you might have an audience of 5,000 people, you might have an audience of 1. When you're connecting that word with you, then it's really going to connect, and they're really listening because they want to know what's in this for me, right? So this is where you have a choice today. This is where you ask yourself the question, am I worth living my life another day by someone telling me what I deserve to be paid? Am I willing to continue to ask for time off and keep getting denied? Or are you willing to step out and get out of your comfort zone and actually take a chance on something that scares the heck out of you and change while you keep moving forward as you change other lives? It's your choice, right? So there's an example of the way that you bring it back to that person, you. So now I know Marcy and Tina,
I've
is there
explained
anyone
that.
else?
I've tried to explain that so many times. I'm like, can I record what you just said?
Well, I wasn't standing in front of that, but hopefully it got caught on there. But so that, yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to add to the way the dip works?
That's awesome.
Okay. So I hope that, you know what, I want to give you guys about 3 minutes right now. If you have paper and a pen, think of some dips in your life, just write them down, because you're going to want to start practicing some of your dips and sharing them with people. And by practicing, it could be practicing with your friend, your spouse. You know, do it with a few people first, or just be brave like me and step out and hold your camera up and record it and post it to Facebook. I don't think about it anymore, I just do it. Because I just know that if I think about it too long, I'm going to stop myself from moving forward.
Do you have some extra paper and pens, Kara?
Yes, I will go grab some. Hey.
I was kind of like you.
I was behind Tina. She was that little.
Do you need what's me?
Big mirror.
Anybody else in paper? I just don't.
If you need a hard surface, there's a few things up there are books. Or you can move over to a counter or a table. So just in case you weren't sure what I just said, if you are just coming in, we're talking about dips in our life. So Shannon, that would be a great time. You'll actually hopefully hear what I just said, because it's really helpful for moving forward. Think of at least 5 areas of your life that you've had a dip. And that dip might have happened when you were a teenager. That might have happened when you were a child. Because every single part of our life has dips. And we've all become better for the dip. In your what?
My nutrition, holy cow.
Oh. Would you like to
So-
share?
Yeah. So I'm like this poster child for IsaBody right now. Wow, last week of school, major dip in my nutrition. Like, I probably had more beer last week than I had in the last 6 months. So, which I don't know. It's been a dip, and like need to get back into it. Like I was still working out 2 times a day, but like there's staff parties and there's socials and there's this and there's that, and I wasn't being careful with my nutrition. And when I jumped back on the scale, I was like, whoa. So like, and I'm not one to jump on the scale. It's just, but I know that I need to make some changes starting up for the summer, and I'm expecting a call next week. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, but yeah, and I'm real. Like I'm a human being, right? Like you make choices and you have to live with them. So, but the beautiful thing is you can always just reset. Like that's
Well, and you can share that to help other people reset.
yeah. Like you mess up, and yeah, you can get back on and just go again, right? So
And someone needs to hear that story.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like, you don't
quite a
have
few
to be
people in
perfect
this
all the
room
time.
need to hear that story, including
Yeah.
me, because it's so true. We don't want to become so perfect that we're not real, right?
Yeah.
We do have fallbacks, or we do have social things that come up, and we don't want to be so fake about it that I never do anything offside, right? Of course we do. We're human beings. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. All right. So does everyone have at least 3 dips that you're going to start working on? I'm going to give one opportunity right now for someone who feels compelled to just practice for the first time right here about a dip that's happened to you. If you can think of the outcome that you want to give to everybody that listens tonight.
No, not so.
Okay, Alicia, thank you. Do you want to, I wonder if, could you come up here? Is that possible? Really put you on the spot. This is way outside comfort zone, so let's give her a big hand.
Alrighty. I'm gonna sit because no one needs to
Yes.
look in this region.
We're all
Ever.
Fantastic.
Yes,
That's
Alrighty.
beautiful.
We just won't wait. All right, so I've already forgotten the process, but the end in process, the end in focus, then what happened, and then the
So
message.
You're coming to the message you want to give at the end is what you're always thinking towards, but you're going to go there last.
Okay.
Where you are today is where you start,
Okay.
the dip, and then where you are and what you want to share with the audience.
Okay. So where I am today is with you fine, lovely people. No, but getting real, where I am today, I am at 65% of where I was at one point in my life, but I'm loving my life. I get to spend it with my kids. I'm at home with my kids. I am working on a nutritionally balanced lifestyle to help support my body in a way that my body needs to be supported. And most people would look at me and go, well, you look great, you look fine, you're average build, you don't walk funny, everything looks great. But some of you know, like Mr. over there, that I'm really adamant about taking care of your feet, taking care of your body, and doing your rehab and your recovery. And the reason that is because about 14 years ago, I was in an accident where I fell 2.5 stories. And I was at the bottom of the pile of about 20 people. And out of that accident, I had broken bones and lots of injuries and a lot of judgment put on me because what were you doing on a balcony with that many people? And there's a lot of information that people don't know. When I got through the initial impact of the injuries and knowing what was in front of me as far as recovery, I had to look at what was ahead, which was very difficult because immediately after you get your head around broken bones, you're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, and other issues that you have to deal with. And after about the 6th year, I decided, wait a minute, there's guys going overseas and they're coming back with parts of their body or parts of their soul that they're never going to get back. I need to make a commitment to myself that yes, this happened to me. Yes, this is a chapter in my life, but it isn't who I am. It isn't all encompassing of who I am. So with that in mind and the rehab under my belt, I now can walk without a limp. I can push myself through any day-to-day pain that I've got. And I know that when someone says, who are you? I don't say, well, I'm a person who can't do this or I can't do that. I just try to stick through it and keep going to where I am now with my kids.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So this minute, Trey, do you mind if I coach you, please? And this is something that obviously I'm just learning this theory, but as we leave people with our story, how can we bring it to the audience for them to take action on something in their life that might be not the same, because not everyone has done the exact same kind of accident, but some people here have actually gone through an accident or have, you know, had something happen to them stress-wise that might not even be physical, but it might be emotional, mental. And how could we bring the whole group of people in? And that's hard. Like, that's really tough to do by saying, you know, you have a choice or you can decide something right now. Yeah.
Right. So you basically it would come down to you have the choice of looking where you are now and deciding, do you want to be better tomorrow? Not better than the other person, like Jason's taught us, but better than who you were tomorrow.
Thank you. Like, that sums it up, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's so great. Thank you so much, Alicia. That was huge. Hot seat there. So brave. Yes, I know. A hot seat. We didn't do the hot seat.
Alicia, are you open to me coaching you a little bit?
Yeah, to you.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So I didn't really feel the pain.
Okay.
I want to feel the pain.
All right. And you know, it's interesting because, and I'm open to that.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask Tara, when you started to get a little emotional when you were telling your story, I have been to a training session called Mastery of the Mind where they coach you through that so you don't get choked up like that. And so, and he actually made me sit in a corner because I could not clot those tears. And he made me sit by myself. No one was allowed to soothe me or comfort me or anything until I could get it all out because I had held it in for so long. So there isn't a pain there anymore.
Yeah.
But I wondered about that because it's legitimately there.
That's right. And you know what? Here's the thing. Like when I spoke on Thursday night, I talked about my mom being a mom at 17. I've never shared that with a lot of people. I also spoke about the day that I found out my dad was dying and shared that with a lot of people. I had 12 people come up to me after that and said, thank you so much for going there. We had no idea you'd been through that. It was unbelievable that I can connect with you on that level. And now it's like it allowed them to breathe because that was like, oh, okay, I'm not alone. So even if no one can relate to falling off a balcony, but I want to know what that was like. Like, you know what? I was at the bottom of the pile. Right. And it was so painful. And I thought, how am I going to get out of here? And, you know, there were sirens and there was screaming and there was like, take us there.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought, how am I ever going to survive this? What will my life be like because of this? Right. And when you started, you said, you know, I'm at 60% of what I used to be. That wasn't a high for me. I thought, you know, I want to hear the beautiful things.
Right.
I'm happily married with my husband. I'm so in love with him. We have 2 beautiful children. You know, I love what I do. I'm so passionate about it. Don't mention the 65% because that's part of the pain. Is that right? Fair to say that that's what you mean? That you're at your 65% capacity? Is that
I
what
guess
you
it
mean?
depends because I was told I was only going to get 30% back.
Okay.
So to me, it's a high, but I guess
Yeah.
with that perspective, that makes sense.
But whatever,
Yeah.
your life was 100% before,
Right.
Because you weren't injured and you weren't hurt.
Right.
And then the accident happened. So bring us into the accident. And then it was like, you know what? I realized that it was up to me. If I was going to survive this ordeal and be the mother that my future kids deserved, you know, the wife that my husband deserved, whatever, it was up to me to decide every minute, every day, I am pushing through this. So no matter what, you know, what we deal with in our lives, we all have stuff that comes up. You may not have experienced an accident like this, but you've experienced something. We've all had stuff in our lives.
Right.
So what is it that you have dealt with and how have you handled it? And now moving forward, what you can do is you can decide, you know what, I'm not letting anything stop in my way, no matter how painful, how hard, whatever, you have the power to make a decision and totally change your life.
That's a great, yeah, thank you so much. Amazing. And that's where it becomes so powerful, right? When we have that, and it's not a matter of going back to that painful day, but
Right.
explaining it so people can appreciate where you're at, because I don't know what it would feel like. I know it would friggin' hurt like hell, and if I survived it, right? But nobody really knows what you felt that day. So it doesn't have to be emotional, but we can feel it when we get those descriptive words.
Right. And it's like Tara said in the beginning, there's a difference between dwelling on it
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledging it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that's why I stuffed a lot of my stuff, was because I didn't want to dwell on it. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me.
Exactly.
Right? So, hello.
That's awesome. I love that. Hello. That's so great. So awesome.
Great. Way to go, Alicia.
Yes, thank you so much. That's great. And to see some people getting coached on that on stage, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine being that person right now. all those
Well, I'm
hundreds.
open to, like, if anyone has feedback, and I'm gonna keep working on that because it is an important message I've been wanting to take away from that, because things have to happen for a reason. And I haven't found that reason. If this is it, and I'm creating the reason, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
But if it's a message I can share and help people to get their dreams back and focus for them, I'd like to use that as a message.
I just have a thought. Did you feel like you were trapped in your body because your body wasn't serving you and it wasn't responding as quickly as you wanted it to, but you were trapped in there? Did you ever feel
In
like
that
that?
seat there.
No, when you were going through all that, did you ever feel like you were trapped?
I felt like I was watching it happen. Like,
I mean, in your recovery. So
in
when
my
you were
recovery,
trying
yeah,
to recover,
it
it
was
just wasn't happening fast enough and you felt trapped? Okay.
Yeah.
What did we do? We help people transform their bodies every day. There are so many people who feel trapped in a body that's not serving them. It's not just about weight loss. So trapped. I felt trapped. Have you ever felt trapped?
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Exactly.
Well, I would appreciate any feedback, and I'm gonna keep working on that. So if you see any posts, please
Yeah.
send them back. Don't worry about doing it PM. I'm okay with the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll keep evolving. It keeps
I think
evolving.
that's what the neat thing is too. So many of us are so private about our story that we can't really help people if we do make it private, right? It's about being open to sharing, and that's all it is. We're sharing. We're sharing with people to connect with them on a heart level. That's the beauty of this business. My goodness, we're not salespeople. We just connect to the heart, right? We share our story. So transparency is huge. It really is. I would love to spend a whole day doing this because I think it would really help. Can you imagine how powerful that would be for us to start getting into some dips? Right? It's hard, but it's so life-changing.
I would have thrown myself on the stage.
Yeah, I would have too. Yeah,
Train me.
I know. So maybe we should make that one of our plans for the upcoming, maybe not even a MOVO. Maybe we could just do some sort of a Saturday or a Sunday or something. I don't know.
All pitch tents in the back.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we can even do it this summer, right? Have the kids
Yeah,
having
big
fun.
stage.
Yeah, because honestly, I think that's the powerful stuff right there. One other thing that we learned in Vegas that I really want to share with you guys, because I think it can really help evolve you even more. The dip is going to be a huge thing that you want to work on for sure. But when we get asked the question, what do you do? We've kind of trained on this before in many other places, but when Lisa Nichols talked about what she responds and how she helps people respond to that question, it actually became a little bit different in the sense of power. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard it many times, and I can't even really honestly train on the old way because I forget it. That's how much this has kind of really transformed. So when we talk about what we do, oftentimes we say we help people with health, we help people create wealth, we help people believe in themselves, whatever those things are, right? It's actually taking those words as, this is what I physically do. But when we can talk about the result of what you do and how that is changing people's lives, that is where the real huge change can happen, where people are really listening, because now it's what's in it for me when they're listening to you. So let's start the sentence with, as a result of what I do. Jason, are you having an aha moment?
Oh, yes. I love it.
Would you like to just take over? Because you could probably step right in here and do it.
No, you're
Oh, no, but I love when people have that moment, though. What are you feeling right now or thinking?
I'm reading Stephen Covey right now.
Okay.
And I'm struggling through it, like Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits.
Okay.
And like the begin with the end in mind. And like as a result, like that's just like, yeah, you're talking about the end product, right? Like people don't care about like the shake. They don't care about what, like, other than your cousin.
Yeah.
They don't care what ingredients are in it. They
Yeah.
really don't. And I spent so much time like weeding through like all the ingredients and everything like that. And like, it doesn't matter. Like people just want to know how they can feel, how good they can feel on these products. If they can have an amazing like health transformation, if they can lose like 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds, whatever it might be, like it's all about that. Like it's got nothing to do with, it's what the end result that they could get by using these products.
So true. And so how easy is that to start?
Oh, it's so easy.
Right? As a
Just
result of what I
go.
do. And you can fill in the blanks, but she says to be really specific because if we make it vague and up to interpretation, people might not get much out of it. So if I said something along the lines of, and I'm still working on mine, so mine's not perfected.
Changing it.
I'm just gonna tell you, yeah. So it's not even at a place where I'm willing to share that whole thing with you right now, but it's short. It's 15 to 40 seconds long. So put that down, 15 to 40 seconds long. And actually what it's called is SNAP. SNAP. It's a snap. Okay, because we're doing it quickly, 15 to 40 seconds. So she calls it the SNAP, and she actually has an acronym which I was looking for a video to show you guys, but it wasn't, it was another network marketing company, and it just kind of confused me because it wasn't the same type of products and stuff. So I didn't want to share it with you, but I do have some examples I'm going to share with you on this. So SNAP is the acronym. When I find the acronym, I'll let you know what that is. But again, I mean, it's just the snap of your fingers. It's something that's really quick, like an elevator speech, right? A really quick thing. So as a result of what I do, people are, or families are, or whatever you want to put the blank there, right? A, B, C. So you might have 1, 2, 3 things that are happening. And you really want to ask yourself, what is it that you are trying to attract? Who are you looking for? Who do you want to partner with? What types of people are you looking for? So if you're focusing only on what the products are doing for people, you're only going to attract product users. If you want to attract people with both, then you need to put some things in there about both, what the products are doing and what the business is doing. If you're just looking for wealth creation builders, then you want to put that in there without the health benefits, right? But you can merge them. Do you have any examples of what you want to, and I'll explain the very end of that SNAP, but do you guys have any descriptive words that have come up for you when you're doing your SNAP?
You should think.
No, you should go.
I've switched mine so many times. And I've said it over and over and over, where before I wasn't doing the elevator. I said something really good last time.
Yeah, what did I say?
I've got to memorize it.
Record yourself everywhere you go.
Excuse me a second.
Yeah.
As a result of what I do. But I've gotten such different, like people are like, oh, what do you do? Where before it was, yeah, weight loss stuff. Like, and they like nailed it down to not isogenics, but as just put it into one category, where all of a sudden it's been open, and because we're leaving them without that open-ended closing, it's been fantastic. I don't leave feeling deflated.
Yes. So we'll get into the ending
Sorry.
of what the SNAP is, but that's great. So thank you for sharing that. Tina, do you have any words that are coming up for you as a result of what you do, what people are having?
Well, for myself, I typically say, as a result of what I do, people's bodies and their lives are transformed like never before. So, or I'll say, they're transformed from the inside out. And then it's kind of like, what does that mean? Well, how sometimes, and then I'll go into very briefly, sometimes people, spend time and money to do something to help, with their health and fitness, and they don't get the results they're looking for. Yes. Well, what I do is I help them break that cycle. So, that's my
I
goal.
want Tina to walk around with me.
In our back pocket.
You know what I can that's one thing though, and you're gonna complete the process, but you said a really great thing because it will evolve, but here's the thing. Depending on who you're speaking to, it may be required that you say something different.
And
So
I
it's-
found that's what I was doing. Literally was consciously thinking about the person that was in front of me. That I never thought about that.
That's right.
Yes.
So what you could do is you could kind of think of who are the main people, like who are kind of the sort of niche in the demographics that I tend to come in contact with the most, and come up with, it's like they talk about your 30-second story being different depending on who you're speaking to. When you can do your snap, it's very short. It's like Tara says, it's not long. So come up with a snap for like 2 or 3 different demographics and practice it and memorize it and stand in front of the mirror and record yourself like Jason says, because when you can get into the habit of doing that and it feels good in your gut, there's no stumbling on your words and feeling like,
Yes.
so that's not really it. When you get it, like when I get it, I'm speaking that from my gut because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just who I am, that's what I do. Right? That's what my purpose on this planet is to help people transform their lives from the inside out.
Yes.
That's why God put me here. So when you are in that place, there's no way, right? There's no sister-in-laws that or cousins that could be like, there's nothing. That's what I do, right? So
That's right. Yes.
So I'm just hung up on this because I'm a newbie and I only have family, my mom too. And my 2, we're gonna make it happen one day, people. And I'm hoping to grow. To say the result of what I do is kind of very hard to say because I don't really have results.
right. Well, you do.
Yet. I do.
Right.
But to say people are,
You can say people have the opportunity.
okay.
That's a great
Because
answer.
I'm just stuck on the wordsmithing of it, because I don't want to come across of I'm
You're not
not
fake.
know-it-all of something
No, I
that's
hear
not
you.
there
I
yet. I want to
understand.
be very genuine.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
No.
You're not free to talk like that.
No.
Yeah. So, but people have the opportunity to, or something around those words.
Cool. Thanks.
That's a great one. And actually, I remember that when we were doing our 30-second story years ago, because this is kind of a version of the 30-second story, right? So if you're more comfortable with the 30-second story that you're used to, feel free to keep that. Before Isogenics I, blank, blank, blank. Now that, whoever it was that introduced you, this is what's changed. You can certainly still use that. I used to always say, I've partnered with a company or people who are helping others, so I'm on the same track to do the same, and I'm helping people do the same. So, but I love how you simplified that. People have an opportunity to. And then if they say, well, have you physically helped people? Because there are going to be people that say that. Well, I physically haven't yet, but I'm partnered with a team that has, and I can put you on the phone with them, or I can introduce you to them. Because you want to stand from that place of also knowing you're going there.
I think, sorry too, I don't think you have to say I physically haven't yet, Alicia, because you've done it for yourself. And people are relating to you. It's just like Tara just talked about with the dip, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, well, here's what happened for me.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm just talking about. Just bringing it back to me versus saying people
Yes.
have. 'Cause
Right.
I know other people have, but as far as my own little circle of, as a result of what I have done,
Yeah.
I have experienced this,
Mhm.
and people have the opportunity to.
To do that. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Thank you for asking that question, because actually that
Yeah,
day at
right.
the event, I wanted to ask that question for people like you. And I didn't get a chance to ask, but that's great. So at the end of it, the whole idea is to ask a question. Because how do we get answers from people? We ask questions. But we don't want to put people on the spot. We don't want to ask that question of, would you be open to learning more? Don't say that. Don't put that down. You're going to ask a very indirect question, but you're going to almost in a way repeat what you just said so that they in a different way. So if you did say, I help, as a result of what I do, I help families create more choices or blah, 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 whatever it is that you're putting in there. I am looking for people who, now you're going to use different wording. So I'm looking for people who, what would be an example? Something that we use today. I'm looking for people who are, yes.
I'm looking for people who want to spend more time with their kids.
Awesome. Something that simple, right? So in relation of what you just said, as a result of what you do, you're helping people do this. I'm looking for people who are in a different kind of way, not repeating the exact same words. Do you know anyone who would be interested? do you know anyone who would be interested? Or do you know of anyone looking for that? And that keeps it open, so they might say, well, yeah, actually I am. Or they might give you some ideas, and of course that's when you can get into referrals too. But it's just a conversation starter, you know, if someone's asking you what you do, and that's really a summary of doing it really quickly and without any attachment. I think that's a lot of times what we need to let go of, because we are so attached to getting that person signed up that we're forgetting that they're human beings and they're not robots. So make it personal. Anything else to add?
No, that's fantastic.
I was just gonna say, it gave me permission this Sunday. There was a lady, and I'm ready for your team to respond when I say this. It was my lack of having that confidence, and I spoke about it today in my post, where they're always kind of affirmations for me. Because I should have just knew that by telling her and sharing with her, I was helping her. But I was in a church environment. She had stood up and shared her struggle in her life, and then came out with, we're all waiting for this horrible thing that she's going through, and then she shares that her battle and her struggle has been weight loss. And my husband's elbowing me. and I'm like, yeah. And all I'm thinking, and she's crying, and she's at the front, and it's over, and everybody's leaving, and I'm froze, and I'm like, I cannot make a business opportunity out of this, because that's where my head was, right? I can't, and we were speaking about convictions and whatnot. Anyway, the following weekend, I walked up to her and I leaned over and I said, it's been weighing on my heart that I did not come up and speak to you. And I gave her a really small snack. And I hugged her and said, I just wanted you to know this. If you're ever interested, let me know. And I gave her a hug. Now, I didn't end it with, do you know anyone interested?
No, that
Because
was
she already
a
told-
scenario.
Yeah, so, but it gave me that, and it's the first thing that came into my mind. I don't have to get in a conversation. I don't have to make her say anything back. I'm just gonna hug her, speak in her ear, and walk away.
Yep.
And she found me at the end and said, me and my 4 daughters have been struggling forever, and I love who you are, and we would love to sit with you this week. So it was perfect. Anyway, as a positive snap story.
That's
Nice.
so great. Thank you for sharing that.
Did you share with her that you had a journey?
Yes, and she's I told her very quick, you know, through what I'm doing right now, my entire family has had a journey. So I shared both my husband
I
and
just
my
got
son.
goosebumps. See,
And-
that's the nugget right there.
And that's why she connected the minute I said that with her 4 daughters. And so I said, we'll come over and talk about it. And then as she left, she said, she goes, is it gonna be really costly? And I said, we have so many ways to deal with the price. You have nothing to worry about. So I just gave her another hug and left. So
Yeah.
I'm really
That's
excited.
great.
Wow, changing lives, that's what it's about, right, guys? Fantastic. All right, so I know we're kind of getting on to time, and I did want to share with you guys a tool that some of you may or may not already be using. And if you're not using it, I'm actually one of them who's not using it. And ironically, yes, ironically, in the magazine, so if you don't have a copy or more than one copy of that magazine, please take a bunch of them, because you can use them as tools for your team, for new prospects. It has my story in it, 5 pages, and I'm certainly not saying that to brag about it. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity, but it goes through some dips in my story. So it's all real, it's all realistic, people can connect with it. So feel free to take that, but write the page after my story, which actually I think I have it right here. The page after my story, so it's on page 60, and like I said, takes multiple copies if you'd like. It has pictures of my family and things, which is pretty cool. But then the very last page, ironically, this is right there. How many of you are using this tool, the Rise of the Entrepreneur?
We're starting.
Somebody
We've
and
been
they haven't
talking
given
about
it back.
Okay. How many of you have never seen the Rise of the Entrepreneur?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh my
and you know
goodness.
what?
I know, it's really bad.
She's got it. It's got it.
Linda,
While you're cooking dinner.
I have watched it. I've watched 20 minutes of it because I sat down one night and said to Cam, let's watch this. And he kind of was like, I'm not in the mood to watch that right now. So I turned it off, and I haven't turned it on since.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Honestly, I know, right?
Seriously? Okay, so we have like a business builder that is on
this is
fire
for-
right now. Absolutely on fire. And we use that to get her started. And she is now, every time that she gets someone like that is a prospect,
Yeah.
she's like, bam. So can you send them that video? Can you send them that video? Can you send? And it's,
You have the monthly subscription.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just, yeah.
I'm going to share with you guys how to get this if you don't have it, because there are multiple ways that you can get it. And for those of you watching from home as well, I don't want you to miss this part. So even if you can't stay to watch it, I will actually play the entire thing if you want to stay. It's about 45 minutes long. So if you have to go, please do not feel that you have to stay. I am going to give you the access to finding where to get this. But for those of you who do want to start using this, and I actually am giving you my word that I'm going to start using this, because I think that if we have a tool that is this powerful, and I've heard not only from Jason, but many people who are using it, it is the go-to for everybody, even as far as almost even a launch party idea. So does it talk about Isagenix? No, it doesn't. It's not an Isagenix video. It is a network marketing generic video. So if you are wanting to watch, feel free to stick around, but I will show you before we turn it on where you can find it. So
If
you
you
can,
guys want me to email you one to watch, well,
Same,
get it
I'll-
anyways,
I'll
buy
do
it.
it.
I'm happy to email you one, because Jay and I have this subscription monthly where we can send out
I'm
like
happy
20
to
videos.
send it over to.
Yeah, so anyone wants it, I just need your email, so.
all right, so right now, for everybody that is looking for it, it's risemovie.com. So just RISE movie.com. And as you see, there is a little bit of a really quick trailer here, which is pretty powerful too. And if you want to buy or subscribe, you click here. And if you want to use it, if you find that it is as useful as you plan on it being, this is a great investment, $10 a month. Now, for those of you, Jason, you have this subscription.
Oh, I do.
Can you just explain what it looks like for people?
Yeah, so you basically log into like it's like a back office, I guess, and you get to send out like a prospect email. So you can either send it and like do it yourself, or you can use like the actual words that they have set up for you, which is a lot easier. Just all you do is you type in the person's name, their email address, and you click send, and it sends it off to them. The brilliant thing though is it shows you how much of the movie. It shows you when someone's opened up the email from you. It shows you how much of the movie that they've watched, and when like they've kind of gone in there and like seen it. So you can like go through, you can see all the people. And if the person like opens up the email but never watches it, you don't get charged for it. So you get 20 for a month. You get 20 rentals basically, and it's a 3-day rental.
You don't lose any of the
And you don't
rentals
lose
if
it
you
if they don't watch it.
And yeah, they have 3 days to watch it.
Yeah, 3 days from when you send the email.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if you do decide to watch it, clearly you can watch it here tonight, or you can get a possible download. But remember, that's part of Jason's freebies that he gets from his
It's fine.
prospects.
No, it's fine.
I guess it's the end of the
No,
month.
I don't mind sending it either.
The end of the
Same,
month?
Same.
Will you get reset on July 1st?
Yeah.
It's all good. I'll send
It doesn't matter. It's like
I have
50 cents. I don't
Do
care.
you? Okay.
50 cents viewing. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
over above the 20, it's 50 cents.
Or no, but that's what it works out to be. It's $10 a month for 20 viewings, so it's
Yeah.
like 50 cents a movie.
And-
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tina, have you gone through the interviews?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's other
Yeah.
stuff in there, it says.
The interviews
25
alone,
plus hours of film.
the interviews alone are worth the $10 a month. Like there's one with Eric Corey and Susan Slide. It's like
Incredible.
yeah, unbelievable.
To say that she's one of our business partners
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
from
So
Toronto.
just
so
I would pay $10 just to see that. To tell you the truth.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
if you bought the movie,
And Eric Corey is not like giving me a cutback on this. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Here's
Yeah.
a suggestion, you guys, is what you can do. This is what I've done is that since I went to the leadership retreat and with last week in Vegas, we developed a daily method of operation of what we do. So, I have my connects that I do, I have my follow-ups, I have my, cleanser touch bases, my associate touch bases, checking the team. I also send one Rise movie. I don't do it every day, but that's on my list of daily method of operation. So I'll send one Rise movie out to someone. And I've also got the Start magazine. So I'll be like, okay, who could I send the Start magazine today to? So I'll just say, hey, I thought of you today. I just don't know if you'd be interested in looking at this. And I just sent it. So you can do that with the movie as well. So it doesn't have to become like a big chore, but if you figure you've got 30 days in a month, and at least, 20 of those days you're gonna be doing something every day to touch your business, you can send a movie a day out, right?
It's
So
awesome.
it's great for teammates too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I bought the hard copies and I've given them away, but I would recommend, obviously I am backpedaling now because I haven't watched them myself, but I wouldn't send it to someone until you've watched it, right? That's definitely a big mistake and a course correct that I'm doing for myself, because really if we don't connect with it, why would we ever send it to someone else, right? It doesn't sound or seem right if we can't connect with it. So I plan to watch it tonight, and if you guys want to join me, feel free, yes.
If you bought it from Sun Concept,
Mm-hmm.
does it give you the option to get the online ones as?
You have to order them.
It's on the website.
Yeah, so this risemovie.com website is where you can either buy more copies of the DVD, hard copies,
Yeah. Okay.
or you can rent it yourself. Like if you guys don't want to spend the $10 a month right now and you just want to rent it, maybe you can't stay tonight and you don't want to ask anyone to send it to you, you feel free because they've obviously offered. But you can rent it just for yourself for 3 days for $3. So it's up to you how you do it, but you can certainly stay here if you're not in a rush to go anywhere. It'll take about 45 minutes, and I will just take a couple minutes break so that everyone can get up, have a drink if you want to stay, go and have a washroom break, whatever, and then we'll start in about 5 minutes. Any questions or any other comments about tonight?
I have a question for Jason. And
Yes.
I'm gonna ask it out loud because anyone
Yeah,
else
for
wants to
sure.
know. Is there a way in the back office of this to put on your website, for example, have access to this amazing video, click here and it does it for you, or just
No,
contact me and I'll send it to you?
You have to physically enter the person's email into the system.
But what you could do on your website,
You can
Alicia,
promote
you
it on
can
your
have a
Facebook,
contact
yeah.
form. If you're interested in
Okay.
receiving this free viewing of this DVD,
Oh,
email me and
yeah.
let me know, and then you can send me the email.
That's a great idea. Can you attach the
That is a good
promo
idea,
video,
actually. Thanks for that.
Maybe
idea.
about the trailer.
like the
Yeah, you
trailer?
probably could. I don't know. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
trailer
it's on
is. That's
YouTube.
true.
Yeah, just do the trailer.
I'm gonna just play the trailer right now for those of you who maybe do have to go, just so you can see the quick snapshot of it, and then feel free to move around and stretch and get a drink if you want to stick around. So, and thank you to everyone for coming tonight. For those of you viewing at home, after this trailer, we're gonna press stop, but you can certainly go to the website and check it out yourself tonight if you'd like.
The world is changing faster than ever. What used to take decades is now taking years or even months.
What you see right now is the illusion that people have had for many decades about the workplace being the secure place to work the rest of your life.
For the first time in the history of our nation, our children will have to do so as us.
We've seen our friends get laid off. We've been laid off. We've had our pay cut.
People are overworked and underpaid. They seem to have less time and less freedom. They live under constant pressure.
This is going to be forced. And so even if your employer loves you, they may have to cut you. There's something wrong. That on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%.
Technology is accelerating, job security is declining. It just doesn't seem like the old models of making a living are as reliable as they used to be.
Every aspect of our lives, there's a better way out there, but we're still doing it the old way.
We live in the greatest country on the planet, and there are a lot of people sitting around complaining and being cynical.
Like everyone's whining about this old model, and then I'm like, once you leave it, look at all this over here, look at all this opportunity.
Since so much of our lives revolve around our work and the way we make our living, many people are thinking there just has to be a better way.
The biggest challenge facing our world today is not making money, is what are we going to do with all the displaced unemployed people?
People are afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. People are afraid of the unknown. People are afraid that maybe I don't have the skills.
Hey, sports fans, industrial age is over, it's dead, it's dying. That's why going to school to get a job is an obsolete idea. A steady paycheck is an industrial age idea.
All right, so that's what you have to look forward to, whether you watch it here or at home. But thank you so much for everyone coming tonight. And I know, You've got a great summer ahead. Please stay connected on Facebook because we're gonna miss your faces every week. And if there's anybody that has questions or concerns or anything else to add, we'd love to hear it. And if not, we'll get started on the movie in about 3 minutes.
Just to let you guys know that Thursday, July 16th, there's an event in Toronto. It is, I'm hosting, Paul Beyondich is speaking, as well as Sue Field. So there is an opportunity still, even though, this isn't the time that we can all just kind of bow out and there's still stuff happening. I've got a social at my place on Thursday night, like I call it wind up for summer. So it's like a wine and cheese night on Thursday night, as well as next Thursday night. If you guys are all welcome, you can bring new people as well. It's just very relaxed. So there's stuff happening, and let's keep each other in the know of, if we've got events and things like that going on. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, this summer I have to say that when she says don't take the foot off the gas, the only reason I am for summer stuff is I haven't been to my son's baseball game once. And I know that people have differing, vacation, but you will not catch me taking a whole week even stepping away. I will go camping and I'll enjoy that week. I don't have cell coverage there. But other than that, there's not going to be a lot of time that I actually say, yeah, I'm going to give up all summer and never touch my business. My biggest growth every year to year has been July most of the time. August sometimes gets a little bit of a dip, but when you keep working through it, your fall is going to be amazing, guys.
Yeah, they're going to come looking for you once they realize how much they let go in summer.
They go put those chains on.
So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Tara. For
Yeah. It's been fun. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to the people at home.